No, but so we just tried to put in a lot of time to practice that, and I think those EPs, if you listen to them, it shows kind of the growth of the band as you listen throughout it, and hopefully it shows a maturity of sorts. And we still are pretty immature, but we're constantly learning and trying to stretch ourselves.
Cool. Now, a lot of new rock bands choose to start their career in New York, LA. You choose Vegas. What could be the most important thing that Vegas have for a new rock band?
Well, first of all, I'm a third-generation Las Vegan, so I love Vegas.
Local, yeah.
Yeah, so I love it. I convinced these guys, they all went to Berklee School of Music in Boston, and upon their graduation, with the exception of Ben, who dropped out, shy of one semester to graduate, I convinced them to move to Vegas. It was a good place for us because it was close to LA, so you're close to that art scene and the music industry that resides there, but you're not right in it because it's kind of oversaturated. There's so many bands there. It just wasn't a right fit for us. Vegas is a city that's kind of eccentric, and it's awake at all hours, and there's so many lights, and it really personified our music in a lot of ways. It just felt like the right meld for our band. We didn't feel like a Los Angeles band or a New York band. We felt like the sound we were creating was meant to be in Las Vegas. And wow, we are on fire today.
Popular, come on.
Yeah, I know that too. Yeah. This is the first time. This is actually the first interview we've ever had that happen. And two, that's amazing. Yeah.
Now, for you that you're not from Vegas, I mean, because you're local, so you don't feel that vibe that it's like a sin city. But for you that you're not from Vegas, how hard was to maintain focus on what you want to do when you're living in such a fun place as Vegas?
I'm going to give this one to Ben.
There's plenty of opportunities to go and get into all kinds of trouble in Vegas. But when we settled down in Vegas, we really weren't looking for a place to go out and party. We were really trying to create something serious. We were really trying to focus on the music. And we would rehearse, 8 or 9 hours a day, 6 days a week. We'd go out and gig 5 or 6 nights a week for another 5 or 6 hours. There wasn't really time enough to go get into trouble most of the time. There are a few exceptions to the rule, I maybe have gotten into a couple of incidents in Vegas, but, what happens there is supposed to stay there, even though it ends up on social media everywhere else.
I know, totally agree. Now, another important thing about Imagine Dragons is charity. I researched that you're helping the Tyler Richardson Foundation. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, Tyler Robinson is a guy that he's a kid we met while we were doing a show. It was 200 or 300 people were at the show, and we just kind of pointed him out. And we'd heard through someone else that he was going through cancer, and was getting treatment at the time. He was a young kid, 16 at the time, I think. And so after the show, we pulled him back and just talked to him a little bit and got to know him, and we were immediately struck with his, just his love for life and his attitude toward everything and toward all the struggles he was going through. It really makes you appreciate your own life and that really your problems aren't so bad. And so, we were immediately inspired by his whole person, his whole persona, who he was as a person. And so, it wasn't too much longer later when he passed away. He finally succumbed to it. It was pretty quick that it happened, and we were all sort of taken aback by it. We were a little bit shocked, and I think there's a feeling of helplessness that comes with something like that. So we all were feeling that, and we felt the least we could do is honor him and help families that have gone through the same thing that his family went through. Medical bills are expensive. Paying for treatment is extremely expensive, and so, if we could start a foundation and do something to help people that are going through that, that's something we should do.
Cool. Now, Dan, I know that right now you're focused on Imagine Dragons, but a lot of people want to know if you have plans in the future to release another Egyptian project.
I'm pretty focused on Imagine Dragons right now. We really barely have any time to even sleep or eat at this point. We're consumed with night visions. We're consumed with what we're doing. We're all a bit obsessive in nature. And so you know, who knows? I would never say no to anything, but right now I think my focus is primarily on Imagine Dragons.
Like Dan was saying right now, of course you're a really busy band right now. After this, you're gonna go to Latin America, then you're going to Europe to a big tour. How hard is to maintain a fresh head to think about it and to relax and to enjoy what you're doing right now? Because sometimes you're like so fast that you don't have the time.
Yeah, you know, we kind of have this rule right now in the band, for better or for worse. Our tour manager probably hates it, but we really, none of us pull out the calendar and look ahead because it can be so daunting. And it takes you out of the moment, you know. It makes it so, instead of thinking, hey, I'm in Sacramento right now, about to play a festival, you know, and you're thinking about the future, and it just muddles everything. And so we try to just appreciate where we're at right now, where we're here. You know, we're here today. I'm existing in this room, and that kind of helps, you know, the process. So every once in a while, someone will take out the calendar and flash it at each other, and then they get in trouble, but. Shield your eyes.
Now, also with all the success, all the TV shows are in, and you're being in the most important. I'm gonna ask you about two of the TV shows and tell me your experience. First of all, David Letterman.
Sure. Yeah, playing Letterman was amazing. All my cousins and uncles and aunts and everyone were, you know, watching and telling me all about it. I will say David Letterman's studio is the coldest, temperature-wise, the coldest of all of the late night TV. It is freezing cold in that studio. So it was actually a little difficult to get into it at first because it was a little cold. And I noticed the entire like late night band is wearing like hats and mittens and stuff, and I never knew why. I thought they were just being goofy, but now I know it's because it's really cold.
Cool. The other one, Jay Leno.
Oh, Jay Leno, you know, I grew up watching Jay Leno, and when we got to meet him, it was just incredible. He's the nicest guy. He, you know, really makes a strong effort to come in and say hello to everybody, which we weren't expecting. It was really our first late night experience where we got to do that. And it was a fun show. You know, we got to play it with, you know, the first time we played, Charlie Sheen was on the show. And he made this weird comment when he came over to shake our hands. He said, "Welcome to the party. It's about to get really weird." And you know, he might have been kind of right about that.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little strange.
When you're talking with Charlie Sheen, probably it's gonna be right. It's gonna be get a little weirder. Now, the last question, of course, the new single in Latin America, Demons. Tell us a little bit the story behind that song.
Yeah, Demons is, you know, I try to leave a lot of the interpretation up to the listener. But, you know, Demons, just to not get too specific, is a song about there being more to what you see, more than what you see at face value when you meet someone. You know, it's very hard not to see someone and judge them and jump to conclusions, but you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes at home, you know, or in their own personal life. And sometimes when you do find out, you see that you wouldn't have made the judgment that you did. So it's a, you know, an aspect of life that I think consumes my mind quite often. And so, you know, lyrically, I wanted to put it into a song. And yeah, so that's the kind of general idea of the song.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to talk with you. Good luck for tonight and congratulations, because this album is fucking amazing and you know it. So, ya lo checaron, hermanos. Imagine Dragons. Viene, por cierto, la salida de la edición de lujo próximamente para Latinoamérica. Vamos a continuar con más. No le cambien. Estamos aquí en Sacramento y estás en Telehit.